If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back in to Sylacauga Daybreak on this Wednesday, May 24th, middle of the week. Have with me this morning Dr. Ted Spears, the chairman of the Sylacauga Music Fest, and what is this, the 13th? 13th. I said Music Fest, but it's Marble Festival. I'm sorry. You didn't catch me either, but it's Marble Festival. So I apologize for that this morning. I got Marble Festival written down here, and
well, I know you're great.
We've been talking about marble here for the last 10 minutes while that previous spot was on. Then I start talking about something else.
Well, you have an interest in music, so that's only natural that you would. Do you still play the saxophone? Do you still sing? Do you still do?
I do neither. I just talk. Dr. Spears, congratulations on getting it back this year. I know last year with the pandemic and everything, it sort of shut you down and then slowed the Marble Fest down, but you're back in full force, ready to go, and tell us what's going to happen this year.
Well, one of the exciting things is, last year we had to go to Plan B, which was very successful, and we got a lot of publicity on that, and that's when we did the portions of the festival on Giuseppe Moretti and Geneva Mercer. And we commissioned busts of each one of them because both of them were sculptors and both of them lived in Sylacauga. Mercer lived with Moretti and his wife for a number of years, and she became an outstanding artist in her own right. And so both of those busts have been placed in the B.B. Comer Library, and there's Moretti there. We had Craig Brown, an Alabama sculptor, to do that, and then we had Frank Murphy to do Geneva Mercer. And so we had two of the most outstanding sculptors who lived in Sylacauga and were a part of Sylacauga. Moretti owned a quarry here and was here a couple of different times. And Moretti lived with the Mercers, or Mercer lived with Moretti, and she's a sculptor in her own right, a very popular one. International, got things in the Phipps Museum in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and she followed them all over the world and did sculpting in Cuba and Montreal and places in Italy that we know are just noted for its sculpture. So I thought it was important for Sylacauga to have something permanent to commemorate the fact that both Moretti and Mercer lived here. He owned a quarry here for a time, and that was important. And so we had two people we remembered done by two Alabama sculptors who live in Sylacauga. So Sylacauga has a very rich history, and it's truly the Marble City. I don't know how we let it slip up there for a while, but we're bringing it back. I noticed that we have a new Welcome to Sylacauga sign out on the Millville Highway that says that, hey, welcome to the Marble City. So that's the second one we've got, and I applaud the Beautification Council for working that situation out.
The Marble Fest and most organizations have a mission statement. Just what is the mission of, I think you sort of explained it now, but what's the mission of the Marble Festival?
Well, the mission of the Marble Festival is to recreate the commercial, the industrial, and the artistic beauty of marble. And for over 100 years, marble has been one of the most important and world-renowned things that happen in Alabama, and it's good publicity when we make people aware that this is the Marble City. We have something, I know that we look at other places that don't have the beautiful marble or the beautiful anything that we have. Some of them have lakes, some of them have interstate highways, some have raceways, some have theme parks, but we've got one of the most beautiful and one of the most well-known components in the marble that is possible. This is the new gallery that Tracy and them set up, and you see we've got all the pieces. We've got 23 or 24 different pieces that were completed in the Marble Festival, and they're on display there. And this is one of the most important and probably one of the best marble displays anywhere in the Southeast. And so we are working on having Sylacauga become a destination point for people to come and see the beautiful marble sculptures, and to understand that Sylacauga is a very artistic community, and we respect sculpture, and we don't have to go to the history books to look at what the Romans did or what the Greeks did. We can have people to come to the library or come to the Marble Festival and see what a beautiful community we have, and the fact that we are alive and well in the art world.
Ted, I think one of the things that, because we came so remiss in Sylacauga, is we grew up here, we got used to it. It was just an everyday thing, the marble deal. And I know you can't do it today, you can't even get close to it, but kids today can't play like you and I used to do growing up. I used to play out in the marble quarry. I grew up at the marble quarry out there, playing in the marble quarry, and been around marble all my life, and even when I lived in other states, I have marble bookends and things like that I had accumulated through the years, and people were really amazed at them. And till you get back and see what y'all are doing, what you're doing, and the committee, and what Sylacauga is doing to promote marble, a lot of us in Sylacauga don't realize what we have here.
Well, you'd be surprised at how many people tell me, well, I didn't know Sylacauga had marble. And some of them were born and raised here, so apparently they've just forgotten, or there was a period of time there after they quit doing all the construction or buildings for a while, and they're doing something different with it now. Not only do we still have marble coming out of the quarries, the Sylacauga Marble Quarry, which the Swindle family in Birmingham is operating now, and they really have been wonderful to us to provide the marble for us, and they're interested. They help us with advertising, they help us with the full thing. So we don't know what happened, but we know that we've changed it, and we've got the focus now, and the State Arts Council is working with us, and they're helping and giving us funding to help put on these marble festivals. And so we're just delighted with the response that we've had and the impact that it's had in the art world and the commercial world. I think it's not a secret that 4 out of the last 6 industries that located in Sylacauga have located here because of the marble. And so it's a generator effect that we have in the industrial and the commercial aspects, and then we're adding the artistic back to it. And not only can we say we're proud that we've got Sylacauga marble in the Washington Monument, we got it in the Senate office buildings, we got it in major cities throughout the Southeast, and New York and San Francisco, the Mormon Tabernacle, we've got Sylacauga marble there. And we just think that it's a wonderful thing. A lot of people don't have anything to be proud of. Sylacauga not only has a beautiful community, but we got a beautiful history also.
Ted, I think when I really realized about the simple marble is you and I went to a senior expo down in Orange Beach on the coast a few years ago, and where all the snowbirds and the seniors come through. We carried a sack of marble. We also carried Bluebell ice cream, which is another story. But besides being famous for giving away Bluebell ice cream down there, the thing that the people wanted most was a piece of marble. And I finally realized I felt like I was giving away my driveway to somebody that really appreciated that piece of marble. And I know I was down. I have some friends down there, and they still have pieces of Sylacauga marble that we gave away down there that, we got it from the marble quarries and the chips and everything, and gave it away, and the people were real thankful just for a chip of marble.
Well, you know, I remember that well, and just the large number of people that came through
3,000.
the exhibit that we had, and we were very busy on our feet for 2 straight days. And you're right, the marble, they were surprised that we had marble in Sylacauga, and the fact that it's pure and white. And at that time, I wish we had had the things that we've been showing on the screen here, that we could have carried at least 1 or 2 pieces of sculpture with us.
Well, you know, they still do that every year, the first week in February.
Yeah, and that has, you know, we worked on that, you and Jim Heigl and Joe Richardson and I, we went, 3 or 4 straight years, and but we were out there pushing the beauty of Sylacauga, and we were in some great competition with some cities who are very successful, like Auburn and Fairhope and Scottsboro and Andalusia. But we let them know where we were and what we were doing.
Okay, let's get back to what we really need to push today is the Marble Festival. Give us the dates.
The scavenger hunt starts on March the 29th. Jeff Turner is handling that for us, and that'll run for 2 weeks. It'll go through the 12.
What's the scavenger hunt?
The scavenger hunt is where we've got photos of pieces of marble that are on public display throughout the city.
But you don't have the whole piece of marble. You just got sections of it.
Sections of it, and the people who can pick up the applications at the library or the chamber, at the museum, and it has the pictures on one side and the answer to the problems or the solutions to the problems on the back. And we're giving away prizes on that, and we'll do that with on the 17th of April in the library at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we'll have Miss Sylacauga there. Ebby Dixon will be there helping with us and promoting Sylacauga and Sylacauga marble. So that's the first thing. Then the sculptors all arrive on the 6th, and they'll be here through the 17th. And as of this morning, Reed Calfrey and his group is picking up the marble for us down at the quarry. And with all this rain coming in, we want to make sure we could be able to get the marble and get it out of the place down there before all these rains hit, because you've been out there, you know, when it rains, it stays wet for days. And Jennifer Mosley, who is running the shop down there, called me and said, you know, if we could get somebody to pick that up earlier, I think you'd be happier, because we don't want mud all over the marble that we're providing for the sculptors.
Where are the sculptors going to stay?
The sculptors are staying in local motels and homes with friends, and some of them are driving in. Some of them in the Auburn area and Birmingham will drive in each day, and the others will stay in local motels. In the past, we've used the American Legion Hall, and they've been very gracious, but because of the COVID-19, that pretty well eliminated that particular site because of the 6 foot, the health concerns, what have you, and it's working out better. But we are looking for somewhere around 27 or 28 people. Well, as a matter of fact, we already have 28 registered, and we thought we'd be thrilled if we got 15. So in the sculpting world, these people are hungry to get out of the cabin, have had cabin fever, and they want to get back to sculpting, and they're delighted to be coming to Sylacauga. And that can't do anything but help us and enable us to project a forward-looking city rather than one that is hemmed in by the problems that we've had for the last year.
Okay, what's in the Marble Festival for the public? What should the public expect? What activities out of it, or not maybe activities, but when can they go? Well, you'll have tours of the observation site, and we eliminated the tours to the quarries themselves because of the COVID-19,
It was just such a thing. You can't put 30 or 40 people on a bus and ride them around all over town then because of the COVID problem. But so what we did, we fell back and we are emphasizing the tours at the library. And we've already got one group of senior citizens from Fort Walton Beach in the Pensacola area who are scheduled to be here on April the 13th. And that'll be 30 senior citizens coming to town. They'll visit the library, they'll go to the observation point, they'll be shopping downtown, they'll be eating in the restaurants, they'll be looking at what I think is one of the most beautiful small cities in the state of Alabama, and that's Sylacauga. And marble is the motivating force behind all of that.
Okay. Who's what activities are you going to have for the sculptures?
The sculptors, we are having, especially we are doing a symposium. Because of the COVID-19, we were unable to bring the Italian sculptor here. And we've employed Bill Cook, who is an American sculptor, and he's sculpted in venues in South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. And he's going to conduct a workshop on American sculpture and what American sculptors have been doing and what he's been doing in particular. And he was chosen because he's been in attendance at the Marble Festival, each one of the 13.
Yeah.
So we're just delighted to have Bill Cook. We'll be doing that, and then of course there will be tours to the observation point, and I got Robert Campbell lined up to work with me on that. And Robert Campbell and David Curry have signed on to be the welcome committee down at not the website, but the sculpting site. And they'll be greeting people and handing out brochures and giving information about Sylacauga and just making them feel welcome so that they'll remember it. And this group from Pensacola and Fort Walton Beach was here 2 or 3 years ago, and I talked to the woman this week, and she said, we just wanted to double check because we're really excited about coming because we enjoyed our last visit.
When can you go down to see the sculptures?
Well, any day starting so 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, and they'll be sculpting until 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So that'll be each day from the 6th, which will be on Tuesday, through that week, and all of next week through noon on the 17th, which will be Saturday.
Any special requirements to mask? I know the sculptures will have them on, they always do, but will you have requirements, or are you just going to let
We're following the CDC guidelines and those of the governor, and we've already bought signs. I got Swin to print me some signs, and we got signs up that we wear face masks and we are observing the 6-foot distance thing. And there's no problem with where the sculptures are, but we're doing that for the visitors who come, that they'll know that we're still observing it, and we strongly encourage all the people who come to wear face masks and observe the 6-foot rule.
How about the sale of the sculptures at the library? Will that be going on this year? We have that?
Yes, Shirley Williams and her crew, along with the Arts Council Executive Board and Arts Council members, will be staffing that. And we're asking each of the sculptors who come to bring at least 3 pieces of sculpture for sale that they can put into the sales room. And that's been a very popular event that we do it. And it's in the high tower room down the hallway across from the auditorium. And we're expecting a good crowd. And we've had some fantastic sales, and we had up until last year. And the people really enjoy coming in and looking at that. And those tours will be guided through the sale room so they can see and talk to and buy whatever it is. And if they want to, they can go down to the not observation, but the sculpting site and talk to the sculptor himself. And deal with whatever they can, deals they can make with them. It's been very popular, and it's been very helpful to the sculptors to know that this gives them a venue in which to make a sale.
Talking with Ted Spears, Dr. Ted Spears, the chairman of the Sylacauga Marble Festival, has been doing this for 13 years, done an excellent job. And Dr. Ted, you hadn't done this by yourself, and you've never tried to say you've done it by yourself, and we've talked about people this morning. You want to name some of the people, some of the groups that have helped you, and some of the people in their background?
Well, probably I'll just start at the beginning. The Arts Council was the agency that enabled the Marble Festival to begin, and they have been with us throughout the 13 years. I know at the time that we had the first group in, I know that we had the mayor of Pietrasanta and his entire staff. We had a world-class soprano who had a concert at the First Methodist Church, and they were from Italy, and then a leading dance group that came, and all that was provided through the Alabama State Council on the Arts. And one of the interesting things of how that happened is that they were in Italy, they being the Arts Council, the leadership, and they carried some artists over there with them. And they had Governor Riley with them. And when they were at the Carrara Mines, and the Carrara Mines, as you know, is where Michelangelo carved the statue of David, and from the marble there. And Governor Riley stepped up next to Al Head and said, "You know what, 30 miles from where I was raised in Ashland, they got marble that's a lot prettier than this, a lot purer. So why don't you talk to the people in Sylacauga and see if they won't be interested in joining us with this cultural exchange?" And so they contacted me at that time. I was president of the Arts Council, and we met with the city officials and the city and Mayor Sam Wright, and we got it kicked off. And there's just been numerous people, the people on the Marble Committee, but the people that in every facet of the community.
How about your local people? You want to name some of them, the local people that are involved? You got too many, you don't want to leave them out.
Well, I would rather not, but the Arts Council, the people like Teresa and John Alford and Kathy Bozeman and Shirley Williams has been working in the sales room for a long time. And then the people on the Marble Committee, and you can't say enough about the staff and the people at the B.B. Comer Library. And Tracy Thomas has continued that, and she has come up with this beautiful gallery idea that she's put into motion. And they've been a very important part of that. And so I can say all the employees at the library have been a very important part of that. And two very important people were the new ones who work with our Sarah Owens and Samantha Matchin did the video component to the program that we use there, and we've sent it all over the world. We've sent it to Italy and to and the people in Montgomery were really excited about what we had done with the video. It relates to the Marble Festival.
Dr. Ted, we talked about this before we went on the air this morning. Probably outside the library and the marble down there, the place you can see the most Sylacauga marbles in the cemeteries in Sylacauga, in particular the Marble City Cemetery. And I know people don't like to, unless they have relatives in the cemetery, and don't like to ride through cemeteries, but I know for personal experience in the Marble City Cemetery, there's some absolutely beautiful carvings over there. And here's one here of it was done by Franconi, maybe one of the earliest pieces of Sylacauga marble that was carved back in the early 1900s. That when you go in the west gate of the Marble City Cemetery over there, and you know, people go in there and all they see is just a bunch of graves and everything. But I've taken the time to go over and go through and look at a lot of this stuff. And I know it's used, it's aged, it's probably needs cleaning and all this, but there's some beautiful Sylacauga marble over there.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that marble has a great connection to Sylacauga in both the Marble City Cemetery, and I applaud those people, and I think that we have looked at, and we in the past we have put the old Sylacauga Cemetery on the tour group, and also the Leadership Sylacauga, we have made people aware of that. The cemetery represents the former history of this community, and there's a lot of historical pieces in both of these, like the Hurd brothers, who came here from Ireland to open the quarries in the 1900s, and it's just an interesting thing that the four brothers, and three of them are buried in the Sylacauga Cemetery. Got beautiful marble tombstones. And they've,
because some Hurd sculptures also, I know, in the Marble City Cemetery.
Yeah.
Also, Dr. Spears, I've enjoyed this today, and I wish we had more time. April 6th through the 17th, the Marble City Fest. Dr. Ted Spears is the chairman. A lot of Marble Festival, a lot of activities going on for 12 days, and I applaud you for what you and your committee are doing, and I hope you continue to do it. And if I can help you in any way, and we're here at the TV station, we're to help you promote it, and come back and visit with us again.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come in and talk with you.
Okay. We'll be back with more Daybreak right after this.